Looking back, I can see that I kept succeeding at a version of me that felt familiar and avoided being bad at a version of me I was becoming. Not because I didn't want more, not because I wasn't capable, but because being good at what I knew felt safer than being awkward, being uncertain, or exposed to who I was growing into. And the strange thing is, look from the outside looking in, it felt like progress. It felt like I was doing well. I was functioning. I was fine. But inside, I knew that I was just repeating what I already knew how to do instead of allowing myself to become something new. It was just such a it was just safer to just keep doing the same thing, going to the same places. Back then, as a newly qualified interpreter, I knew this location, this place, this thing, just okay, I've tested it out. I am good here. We just keep accepting jobs here. I see jobs everywhere. Oh no. I wanted to grow and expand and get the outreach, but it was just kind of like I know this person, they know me, they like me, so I keep coming here, I keep doing this. And it was just, yeah, I'm getting the work, right? I'm doing the thing. There is no there is nothing that I get to do. Whereas knowing that, okay, in order to grow, I needed to put myself into situations that I haven't been in before, interpreting situations that might feel challenging. And in my head, it's like, oh my goodness, they would know I'm not that good. Like, how would I deal with if I don't understand what they're saying and I can't find the words to express what they are signing or like what that thing is? So, let's just stay where we are. Let's stay in our lane, right? We're doing the thing. Yes, we're interpreters. We're like, we're going with the flow. We're all these things is happening, right? For me, it was just, and it's just having that thing like, if we're not technically growing, we're dying in the skill. We're just doing the same thing and thinking, yes, this is fine. And deep down, the need for more of like wanting to showcase oneself is there, was there for me. Was like, okay, I really want to be able to do this, but at the same time, oh my goodness, what about if they find out that I'm not that good? Or what about if I go there and I can't stand it? Like when I go to this job, I know what to expect. I have the thing. I go here and they might say something, then I'll be like, okay, bad, wrong, cancel, whatever that is. Was that the fear and the safety and the unknown? That uncertainty didn't play well with me. The feeling of like, oh my goodness, found out that if they're spelling something, I might not be able to catch what they're saying. Or like knowing how, like, okay, what's this? I'm still new. Like, what are you saying? Like, I don't know what you're saying, kind of like thing, or like what that gets to look like. So let me just stay here. Let me just be doing this one here because this feels fine. This feels like home. We're cool. There is no ants, but at the same time, there was no growth. I was just an interpreter who just supports this place. This, like, I know the language and all that here, but I wasn't, the desire to. One of the things that drew me into the field was being able to go and like into different spaces and different opportunity, but I just kept limiting myself to this one location or this one place or this one thing because this feels like home. That, no idea. I don't want to go there at all because God knows what would happen. Like somebody might say stuff. And knowing that the deaf community is so small. Like words would just go around like, "Don't book her, don't choose her. She ain't know what she's doing." Like that was one of the things that was good in my mind. But here we're cool, you right? And it's only when I started just like going in and excuse me, doing the thing. Okay, I go in there, and then this person's like, what level are you? Oh, what are you doing? And like, okay, how do I negate that? How do I like go there? Building the muscle of test it, trying out a different place, speaking to colleagues, figuring out, okay, how do you handle it? Then avoiding not going, but now like testing it out, going now, like step in, step to the point where now it feels okay, I'm getting used to this. I'm getting there. Like, okay, awkward. Oh my goodness. They just asked and I froze, or this happened, learning and then going and then building that muscle in a like safe way, not just going up do things that I'm not supposed to do or whatever that is. But it's now having that realization that okay, this is where growth is. This is not expansive. This is just safety and comfort. And like it's not, I'm not growing, I'm not exposed, I'm not using the range of what I've learned. I'm not in different settings. I'm not doing all those things. But when I come into the becoming of like, yeah, I'm this interpreter that can work in this domain and that domain and this preference, like this is what's going on. That's the becoming. And just being like, okay, this is it, you know. Um, I find that it's often about not wanting to be seen plain small. Um, you see, Eckhart that always says like every master was once a disaster. If we're not in that process of, for me, like doing the doing to get that like muscle of this is what I'm doing, this is how I am expanding in this thing, wouldn't the becoming would never happen. We would say yes, we're great when really it's just we're not there. But deep down in the core, the feeling of wanting more and not wanting to be seen as someone who is less than or don't have the bandwidth or whatever that is. For me, I found going in there, doing the thing, and realizing, I'm like, oh my goodness, I did that. Celebrated. And like whatever that is, like just catching and even if it's just like, yeah. Building that muscle. And I think for me, that's one of the things that has really helped to having like, oh, I just did that. Yes, yes. That helps with the momentum of really supporting in the becoming than avoiding and being in the safety of, okay, this feels fine. This feels here. The same thing with showing up online. It's like, I have my clients, right? I do my thing, I'm fine. And but you want more, but it's like, oh gosh, if I go on there, it's very awkward to start doing this video thing. Or if I say this thing, people will be like, oh, what are you trying to say here? This does not make sense, or it's not landing, or oh, I only had like 0 views, or this happened, or whatever it is. Because of that, we just safe where we are. We just get the client where we are, get the refer, whatever that gets to look like. Instead of like, yeah, you might not succeed the first time, you might be really bad at it. Like what I always remind myself, like all this, like famous pianist or like the really great athletes. they had to start with, like, the pianist, I'm sure, did the da 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 da, like, before we now came to ah, you know what I mean. But yeah, it's that becoming and wanting, being okay, being bad at it. Be okay being bad, because being bad, you get the feedback, you use, you stretch, you you evolve. That's what I found for self, going in and then testing it out to the point where ta-da, is where we are. First time I like filmed my video, I was like, the fear of being on camera. I talked about how I managed to go past that. But it's how stiff I was. See, now it just feels like I'm having a conversation with you. Like we're just bantering, we're just having a chat. So, yeah, how is it for you having that feeling of, okay, this is who I am becoming? How do you now deal with, oh, but this feels safe? I don't need to do that thing right now. What's that thing we're avoiding doing? That really, that's the thing that would take us to that next level, that would elevate us and help with the becoming of who we are. Yes, remember, your voice matters, and it's your time to use it. And we do this every single day. Catch you up tomorrow. Bye for now.